Last episode, linked in the description, we got the Printing Press Yahoo Finance CLI up and running. This episode will wire that CLI into a Python Streamlit local web app that lets you customize and run stock reports. Here's a quick taste of how we will design a report from the Design tab. We can add or remove all of this stuff. Then we could run a report from this tab. I have previously defined these two reports. We'll run this one and we'll run it for Adobe. This whole application took minimal effort to make with Claude and the Yahoo Finance CLI. Maybe a few hours, because Claude and I had to go through a few iterations to fix some chart weirdness. Claude eventually was able to fix it with my testing and feedback. Then this tab, CLI Activity. It shows you every time the app calls the CLI. Then the CLI makes remote calls to Yahoo Finance. Each one of these, 1, 2, 3, is when I generate a report for Adobe. And there are 9 calls in each one. We can see what the CLI returned here. This is for a quote. And then here is a call to the chart, which looks a little different. You could copy any of these and paste it into a terminal right now and get the exact same data back from Yahoo Finance that built this report. That's good transparency about what's happening, and it has a real practical value too. When something breaks, you don't need to debug a Python library. You run the command in the terminal and see what it returns. And you and Claude know immediately whether the problem is your code or data from the CLI. When you need to add a new field, Claude doesn't dig through the library docs. It checks the CLI's skill.md and finds the command. And because the CLI is a binary on your path, your Python code has 0 Yahoo Finance dependencies. If the CLI gets updated to handle a Yahoo API change, your Python doesn't change at all. There's a resilience angle too. Yahoo Finance can be slow, sometimes several seconds per request, and it will rate limit you if you hit it too hard. The CLI caches responses locally in an SQLite database. If Yahoo is sluggish or pushing back, it automatically falls back to the last known data, so your script keeps running instead of hanging or crashing. And a quick tease for episode 3, this CLI was designed from the start to be called by AI agents, not just humans. The agent flag, the skillMD, the consistent JSON output, all of it was built so that a model like Claude can read the documentation, understand the commands, and call them on its own. We'll do exactly that in episode 3 to do something even cooler, something like this. No, not really. Back to reality in episode 2. If you wanted to pull Yahoo Finance data into Python, the most common approach is a library called yfinance. It works. Claude has used it. Here's some Python code on how to use it. We've got 3 calls. 3 completely different data shapes are returned. A plain dictionary, a data frame indexed by date, and a data frame indexed by metric name. You need to know the shape of each one and write different parsing code for each. And the bigger issue is why Finance is reverse engineering Yahoo's undocumented API. Yahoo changes something on their end, why Finance breaks, sometimes silently, something else stops working. You get stale data or nothing with no clear error message. Here's the equivalent CLI way in our project. Subprocess run calls the binary exactly like you'd type it with the command. The agent flag ensures we always get clean JSON back, no interactive prompts, no status messages, nothing that stalls the script. 3 functions for 3 data types, but the same pattern every time, pass arguments and get JSON back. And because the CLI handles connecting to Yahoo Finance, rate limiting and the crumb cookie session, we don't write any of that. It's just handled. When Yahoo changes something on their end, you update the CLI binary, your Python doesn't change at all. That's the trade. Instead of learning Yahoo's undocumented API, you learn one CLI, or Claude does. Here's the app architecture. The app is 4 Python files and the CLI. At the top is app, the Streamlit UI. Below that is report config, which defines what sections a report can have and which CLI commands each one needs. This is what the design tab reads from. When you click the run report from the run report tab, app consults report config to figure out which CLI commands are needed, then hands that off to the CLI wrapper, which fires the actual commands to the CLI. On the way back up, report takes the raw JSON from CLI and shapes it into what you see on the screen. Let's see it working. Let me show you the 3 tabs working together now. We are on the Design tab, Save Designs on the left, and the Editor on the right. Let's click on New Design. I'm going to call it Charty McChartface because we're going to enable every chart we have. The price and overview, let's get rid of these bottom 4. On the price chart, let's enable it and show them all. Let's get rid of financial health. Let's select annual financials and make them a bar chart. Same for quarterly financials. Also make it a bar chart. And annual estimates and make it a bar chart. And let's save this design. Design was saved. So there it is, Charty McChartface. Let's move over to the Run Report tab and select Charty McChartface. Let's run it on NVIDIA. Please don't say NVIDIA, one of my pet peeves. And run the report. It gives us a description of all the sections we selected. And then here are the price charts. Let me get access in. All right, so 1 day and 5 day and 3 month and year to date and 1 year, 5 year, all time. And then here's the 4 we selected on the price and overview. Wow, 5.5 trillion. And here's the bar chart for annual financials. I thought we'd also selected margin, but it's not showing here anywhere. So either it's a bug or the margin information is just not available on Yahoo. And same chart for quarterly financials, revenue and net income. And then here's the analyst estimates bar chart. Okay, let's see everything that actually ran on the CLI activity tab. Yeah, I ran it once before I recorded, and then again. Ran a quote command, a quote summary, some chart commands. There's like the raw JSON for one of them. So every call is logged. Every raw response is inspectable. This is exactly what you'd see if you ran it from the terminal with the agent flag. And that's about all I want to say about using the CLI to make a report, designer, and generator. Next episode, we're going to build a robot and a floating screen that, just kidding, that's just AI image slop. The next episode is actually about using this CLI in an AI agent. This episode, you decided what to fetch. You checked boxes in the design tab. The code fetches exactly what you selected, same way every time. Next episode, you give Claude a goal in plain English, and Claude decides what to fetch. You'll ask questions like, is NVIDIA overvalued right now? What should I expect for NVIDIA's next earnings? Claude doesn't have a template for that, so it reasons about what data it needs, calls the CLI functions to get it, reads the results, maybe calls a few more, gives you an actual analysis, not just numbers on a screen. Claude will use the Yahoo Finance CLI as its main tool to get its work done. And here's a tease, in future episodes, maybe it'll use some other tools. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode, and let's wrap it up. We made a stock report generator that uses the Printing Press Yahoo Finance CLI, Python wrappers in the middle, and a Streamlit HTML UI to display it. Next episode, we'll turn it loose as an AI agent. Links to episode 1, the repo for this episode, and the Printing Press CLI libraries are in the description. Episode 1 and one of my other videos should be showing up here. See you next time.